Hey Kid Roonies. So if you clicked on this video, chances are you're familiar with at least a few album covers, but have you ever stopped to think about just how important they are to our understanding of modern music as a whole? Well, if you're a rational, mentally well person, probably not. But if you're a total weirdo like me, you may have a strange fascination with pictures being paired with music. Regardless of which group you're in, I think we can agree on one thing. Album covers are an art, and good ones require serious skill to create. However, I feel like this art form isn't really appreciated enough. While most of us can respect a good cover when it comes around, they're still often seen as an extra and unimportant part of music, which drives me up a wall. So sit back, relax, and watch as I ramble nonsensically about why we shouldn't take album covers for granted.
It was great. I did loads of paintings. I did about 13 or more paintings.
Different artists take different approaches to album covers. Some use them to perfectly encapsulate the sounds and themes of their projects, some use them to create a visual identity, and some obviously do not care. But what exactly makes an album cover good? Well, in my opinion, it comes down to three things: atmosphere, conciseness, and memorability. An example of an album cover that meets this criteria is that of one of my favorite albums from the 2000s, Hot Fuzz by the Killers. Its unnatural blue tint and floating red Chinese characters give it an urban, unfamiliar, and almost dangerous atmosphere. The buildings being shown near the bottom of the photo and the sky taking up most of the artwork also gives it a sense of grandiosity. You can probably tell that I'm an overzealous art kid. There's a lot you can take away from the cover, and it all connects to the music pretty well. As for conciseness, everything in the artwork feels like it should be there, and there's not anything extra that muddles it up. Because of its sophistication, it's also extremely memorable. It may seem simple to create a great cover, but you'd be surprised at how many fail because they lack atmosphere, are overly detailed, and/or are just really forgettable. Either that, or they're just so weird they make Gwyneth Paltrow look normal. Now, you might think that a good album cover is just a good picture, but then you'd be missing another important piece of the puzzle. You stupid, stupid idiot. The words. For example, the artwork of Transatlanticism by Death Cab for Cutie and Introducing by DJ Shadow are interesting on their own, but they're also enhanced by the clever and memorable titles. There are also different ways artists use typography. Some use them to boldly advertise their music, some merge their words and pictures in an aesthetically pleasing way, while others don't even put words on the cover to give a sense of mystique and seriousness. So why am I bringing all of this up? Well, a good cover is like Interstellar. It's good, but it gets even better if you analyze how everything fits into place. A lot of thought goes into visualizing music, and that has to be the case since more often than not, unless a track has a wild music video, the cover is the first image that pops up in your mind while thinking about a song. Art enhances music, like Peanut Butter and Chocolate and Florida in Bad Decision Making. Album covers are way more important than most of us give them credit for, and they're worth paying attention to. Alright, to end this video off, I decided I should share a little album cover Hall of Fame to show exactly what cover designers are capable of. Let's start with
Wouldn't been, couldn't been, wasn't it even gone?
We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank is probably my favorite Modest Mouse album, which is not a popular opinion, but regardless of your thoughts on it, hopefully we can all agree on one thing. The cover slaps. It has an incredibly cool image of a hot air balloon tied to an anchor, showcasing the band's love for contradiction. And if that's not enough, the entire album has a worn-out leather texture that makes it look like some kind of old scrapbook. I can't even begin to imagine the attention to detail this cover must have taken to make. It perfectly captures the nautical and adventurous atmosphere of the album. It's great.
Oh, how rude of me to bring my thoughts into your bedroom.
Have you ever looked at an album cover and thought, wow, I have to listen to this now? Well, chances are that's how nearly everyone discovered the ultimate sad virgin band, Crywink. This picture just burns itself into your mind like James Corden humping air in a mouse costume, but in a good way. The dog has caught its tail. Its desires are fulfilled, and now it no longer knows what to do. It's a humorous yet melancholic cover, befitting a humorous yet melancholic album. At first glance, the cover of Give Up just looks like a random bedroom, but if you pay close attention, you'll notice some cool stuff. The view outside the window is vast and dreamlike, with the centerpiece being a majestic castle. Above the castle, there are a bunch of alien spaceships, adding to the surreal nature of the artwork. The contrast between the dull room and the bizarre scene outside expertly represents the claustrophobic yet vibrant sound of the album. The typography is also really nice. The font choice and the little stars and lines next to the words give the cover so much more personality. Do I sound like Patrick Bateman panicking over business cards? Maybe, but don't let that detract from what I'm talking about. Look at that subtle off-white coloring. Give Up's artwork isn't really talked about much, but I still think it's lovely. In Our Bedroom After the War is only like my third favorite Stars album. It's not quite as intangible and grandiose as Set Yourself on Fire, or as intimate and pleasant as Heart, but it's still pretty great, and I love the cinematic and ambitious sound it offers. No, none of that has anything to do with album covers. I just want to capitalize on the opportunity to talk about one of my favorite obscure bands. Hey, it's my video, I'ma do what I want. It's pure eye candy, and it does a great job at representing the theatrical vibe of the album. The colors, texture, title, and fonts are perfect. I don't think I need to say anything more about this artwork. I mean, just look at it.
In a blink of an eye and be gone from me, soft and sweet.
Iconic, iconic, iconic. This is one of those covers that makes you want to check out the album just to know what it's all about. It has a fascinating sense of mystique thanks to its surrealism and antiqueness. This artwork is a fantastic way to introduce us to the strange and wonderful world that Jeff Mangum and the rest of Neutral Milk Hotel create on In the Aeroplane Over the Sea. I know it's a bit of a meme, but at the same time, if this cover wasn't so great, it probably wouldn't be a meme. As I've said before, it's iconic. Finally, if you want an example of a band who consistently has breathtaking covers, look no further than the greatest band of all time, Radiohead. With the exception of Pablo Honey, all of their covers are distinctive and fascinating, and it's all thanks to the incredibly skilled Stanley Donwood. The album I want to focus on today is Kid A. Much like Give Up, it's a cover that rewards careful observation. First, it just seems like a picture of icy mountaintops with a few volcanoes here and there, but then you start to notice the glitchy floor and the fiery sky that looks like it's being displayed by an old TV screen. The cover of Kid A tells a story, and it also perfectly encapsulates the album's sound. You can't ask for anything more. So, what have we learned today, other than the fact that I used way too many adjectives? Well, hopefully, I've managed to convince you that album covers are a special art, and they shouldn't be taken for granted. After you finish watching this video, I encourage you to take a closer look at some of your favorite album covers. What makes them work, and how much do they add to the music? Chances are you'll end up appreciating them more than you already do. Well, that's it. Goodbye.